Let's go!
What's happening?
Oh, hello.
We're recording now, man.
Okay, I didn't realize. I thought we were going to do
Jesus
the
Christ.
intro.
No intro, man. No intro.
That's
The
all
intro
right.
comes in the beginning. I put that on. It's
You
too
put
long.
that in there.
It's
How
too
are you
long.
doing today, Stein? You're looking.
Yeah.
looking
I'm
fresh
wearing
today,
something
man.
simple and black today, man. Look at this, huh? Shit.
I know.
You think you're all pretty looking over there, man?
Hey, I thought to myself, I couldn't find my my black specs, the Lokes that I usually wear. I can't find them. I don't know where they are. But I need them for this photo shoot. If you know what I'm saying.
Photo shoot. Jesus
So I need
Christ.
to find them. But so I thought
We're gonna have to buy you a new pair of glasses, man. I'm getting tired of those glasses.
Hoping I'll be able to own some. Have enough money to buy my own one day. That'd be cool.
You ain't got $15? We got to get you a fucking
Expensive,
job,
baby. They're not cheap specs.
we got to get you as a job.
Tell me a little bit about who we have on today. Who's our guest today?
It's your guest.
But still, I did the guest last week.
This is our first musician, our first rapper, and I'm very excited about that because we are crypto music and gaming.
We also do Web 2 music too, though. Web 2 music and Web 2 gaming. So, but yeah,
that's the same fucking thing I just said.
Web 2 music. You said crypto music. You fool.
It's the same shit. It's
Look,
crypto,
maybe you need to go back to
crypto and music and gaming.
Okay, please continue.
God damn, pay attention. You don't even know what format we're talking about anymore.
I don't know where I am today.
All right,
That was good.
right. Okay. He does some very, very interesting rap music. I really enjoy it. He is your guest.
Yes.
You should be bringing him in.
I'll take it from here.
You'll take it from here
You're
because I'm very
bloody
interested in
useless, as
talking
the
with
British
him.
would say. So, our guest today is a musician in the crypto space. I think he makes music in the traditional music scene as well, but we'll definitely find out more about that. Great music. Him and I communicate quite often, and we're always sharing music with each other and kind of getting feedback from each other with our tracks. And he's a good dude. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to finding out more about him and how he makes his music and his whole process and his steps, So yeah, let's bring him on. His name is Kaveli. Kaveli, welcome to the show, my friend.
Welcome.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here.
What's going on, man?
It's good to have you here, man. Kaveli
Apologies,
White, our special guest.
I didn't say the full name. I didn't say Kaveli White. My bad, man.
He has it on all his stuff, so
I know.
That's his name,
I think I know.
It's all good. It's all good. So I actually have a really long name. So it's actually Kaveli L. the Punisher White. And so my first name, Kaveli, is actually taken off Tupac, whose alias was Machiavelli. And then you have L, and that's taken off Big L, who's deceased. He was a great Harlem rapper, one of the best. And then the Punisher is taken off of Big Pun. You already know Fat Joe's right-hand man, another legend out of the Bronx. And White is from Notorious Big's alias, Frank White, who I guess, of course, he loved King of New York. So, he took his alias from Frank White, out of the movie. So little backstory behind my name to kick it right off. But I'm super excited and so glad to be here with you guys. Let's party.
We're really excited that you're here. Where do you hail from? Where are you from, man?
Yes, sir. So I hail from St. Louis, Missouri. Right here in Midwest America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd say probably a good conservative town, but full of great people. You know what I'm saying? So it's
musicians out there. Got a lot of musicians out there.
Of course, I got a musicians out there, man.
Heck
I know,
yeah,
man. I was
man.
just based on what we was talking about before. Where I am, there's nothing like that. But yeah.
Well,
Man,
he's in the Midwest. He's got
Yeah,
Most Thugs and Harmony from Cleveland. They all come.
There you go.
Man. Yeah.
That's right. And even back in the days, so like Ike and Tina Turner, they were, they kind of got their start in the St. Louis scene. I don't know if you guys know Red Fox, the comedian. He's
Hell
also
yeah.
from here. Dick Gregory's from here. You know what I mean? And a host of a lot of rock. I'm really into hip hop, but I know the studio that I go to has been around since like the '70s, and like there's paintings hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a great experience.
Wow.
I remember when I was a kid back in the 70s, because I'm old, my father
Okay.
used to stand around his truck and drink beer with his buddies. And he wouldn't let me come over to where they were hanging out because he used to have Red Fox tapes playing.
Oh,
and
they were dirty, bro.
Oh, they were really dirty. They were really, really raunchy. So that was my got into Red Fox that way. He was a nasty comedian, but he was funny as fuck.
You'll pick that up here for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So tell me, brother, you say that you're into other kinds of music as well, like hip hop, like rock music. What other kind of music
listen,
you like?
I listen to everything, and so here's the thing: like when I was really young, I would just like ride. I would go places with my parents, like my mother and my father, and so we would travel a lot. So in St. Louis, Missouri, where I'm from, like you kind of have to travel to get to your people, maybe like 20 or 30 minutes sometimes. So
Mm,
those rides you really cherish. And the radio was always on. I mean, from the time that I was a young child, my father always had a bunch of vinyls lying around the house. And so, you know how it is on the radio when it goes to commercial. You just go to another channel. So we might go to conservative, it might go to a rock channel. Whatever. We just don't want to hear commercials. We just want to hear music. And so that's kind of how I
mm.
got into everything.
Nice.
Okay, that's
Nice.
what's up, man. That's what's up.
So how did you get into rap?
So, I've always been into poetry since I was young. I've always been a really good writer, even when I was going to school and things of that nature. And so, just like anything, you just kind of try it one day. One of your friends comes up to you and he's like, I got to rap. And you think in your head, like, I can do that. And so I started to, write my own things, probably in like the sixth grade. And yeah, and so I've started from that journey there, and I've just really been honing in on it ever since. You know what I mean?
I could tell,
So
man. I could tell.
who are
Yeah.
your influences?
Oh man, that's a
I'm
I
great
mean,
guessing. I'm
question.
guessing. I'm
When
guessing
you were
some Big
growing
L.
up,
I'm guessing
not
some
now, but when you were,
some
you know,
Tupac. I'm guessing all the ones that's in his name a little
yeah.
bit, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly everybody in my name, but
Hmm.
it's so many influences to name. So I mean, you gotta just to name a few though. I mean, uh, besides everybody in my name, Tupac, Biggie, Big L, the
Hmm.
Punisher, Big Pun, but Barry White. I mean,
Barry White.
Hmm.
Nirvana, of course. I mean, come on, Patti LaBelle. I mean, old school Willie Hutch, you know, the 90s radio period. So like Total, 112, Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Yep.
freaking Limp Biscuit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, the whole nine. I mean, Eminem,
Yeah.
Jay-Z's my favorite hip hop rapper of all times. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So yeah, man, just God, it's too many to name. All
Yeah.
genres though.
You left out
That's
Luther Vandross.
Luther Vandross,
Oh
listen,
man,
sorry. Yeah.
whatever
It's
an
happened
hard.
to
incredible
Anita?
singer.
Whatever happened to Anita Baker? Do you remember Anita Baker?
Yeah, so she's still around. So I'm a big NBA fan, and we also watch American football. And so every now and then you can catch her doing her own rendition of the national anthem. So YouTuber singing the national anthem recently, and you can lay some eyes on her, Stein.
That's good. That's good. Because she was really big back in the '90s. So actually, late '80s, early '90s in there somewhere.
Come on, man.
It's all a fog to me, man. I was pretty fucked up during those times.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
In
You
the
know.
90s. So
Shit.
do you do much freestyling? Have you ever done a lot of freestyling before, or as you was growing up?
Yeah, and that's another wonderful question. And so that's kind of how you started off when you're younger, when you're getting into it. Your boys might start beatboxing, or somebody might
Mm,
start slapping on the table, and you'll just start coming up with stuff to kind of just see the crowd woo, or try to make them laugh, and things of that nature. And yeah, it's a part of the game. And so, but what
mm,
happened with me with my freestyling is I'm getting old now, like Stein, and so I've wrote so many
I'm
rhymes. I
so
did so
old.
many freestyles. I just kind of, it all runs together when I try to freestyle nowadays. So I really
mm.
prefer to jot it down to give you all my best work.
I'm with you, man. I have never been a freestyle guy. My brain doesn't work like that. But I've always thought, these guys out there that are able to. There's a dude called Harry Mack. Have you heard of him? Harry Mack
No.
is the dude. He's incredible. Like he's the only person I've ever seen that really looks like he raps off the top of the dome. As where a lot of people they seem like they rap with pre-written stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and for me that's not freestyling. For me that's just remembering lyrics and making it work to whatever beat that comes to you, but or that's being presented to you at the time. But yeah, freestyling was just my brain couldn't. I could never do it. And people always used to say to me, "Hey, you rap, right? So come on, drop a freestyle." And I'd be like, "Uh, I'm at the shop. I don't like to stop. I can't. I'm just not
Yeah.
very good at it at all.
Well, you
But
gotta do the
Yeah.
old you gotta do old style. Put some '80s in there. When you can't think of a word, you just think of a sound.
yeah, uh,
Don't let them put you in the trick bag, man. Just,
Yeah.
write
yeah.
something rap something you have prepared.
Yeah, but I mean, I grew up on, the seeing a lot of rappers. That's what they did. They freestyling was such a big part of it, and I always used to think to myself, hey, you're never gonna make it as a rapper because you cannot freestyle. I always used to think to myself, like, yeah, I've been making music for I don't know 10 to 15 years now, and and yeah, I always used to think if I didn't have that freestyle element, then I was never gonna become a rapper. But it's such a silly way of thinking, right? It's you don't need that part to be able to be an artist. You don't have to be able to just think things off the top of the dome. You could still make good music, right? And that's a great there's a great case right with you. It's like you're not doing any freestyling, but you're making some great music. So what kind of with your music, how would you describe your music? How would you say your style is? What is your style, Kaveli style like? How would you describe it?
Cool. Man, I tell you what. So, with your story and my story, being alignment with the freestyling thing,
Mm,
like I just want to say thank God for hip hop. You know what I mean? Because like it brings us all together. I mean, hip hop got us it's got us here. And so my style is just hip hop. It's
yeah.
just being the best me that I could
Mm,
be. Like hip hop is a mixture of a lot of genres, and a lot of times, I mean, a lot of it is original music more than a
yeah.
lot of people would think. But the start of it was really us taking a lot of samples and looping things and dancing to them, rapping to them, which they call MCing,
Mhm,
doing
mhm,
graffiti, or maybe DJing. And all that is artistry. And so
mm,
basically, and we talk about this on the back end a lot, Seven. In hip hop, you want to express yourself, and you want to
mm,
get across the best part of you. And so that's
yeah.
what I try to do in my music. I try to give my perspective. Basically, I give my perspective, but I also try to uplift too. You know what I mean? I don't just try to just write a bunch of cool stuff. I do want to inspire also. So that's
Mm.
kind of my recipe.
Did you ever find yourself kinda so for me, I made music many years ago, and then I stopped making music, and I came back into it recently, uh, about a year ago. But even a year ago, I was still kinda trying to find. I know you say that you're bringing out you, but I was still trying to find my voice. If you know what I'm saying, I was still trying to find
Mhm.
like the style that best suit me. I was talking to Stein about this the other day, and because I did a tweet and I was like, I feel like I finally found my, you know, my
Your
ish, my
niche.
niche. Yeah, yeah, my thing. And did you ever go through a process of kind of like, oh, I might start rapping a little bit like this person, but then because you take, like you said, it's an amalgamation of all the different genres, but also it's an amalgamation of all the different artists. Because you listen to the artists as you grow up, and you take little bits of each artist, and you become this thing, right?
That's
And
right.
did you find yourself going through something like that to be like, oh, maybe I need to, or is it just me, or is it just me?
Yeah, man. I mean, of course. I mean, you go through that with everything. I mean, it's not just music. I mean, even coming up watching television as a young child, you may
Mm,
think that you need to portray yourself a certain way to be able to get girls or to be
yeah.
able to be accepted within certain circles of
Mm,
society. And so it's a constant struggle. Heck yeah. And
yeah.
nobody's perfect. But at the end of the day, you just want to try to do the best that you can. You can't help that you're influenced by other people. So it's not
Yeah.
like when
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
expressing your art, you're sitting there thinking, hey, I should do this like 50 Cent. No, you
Yeah.
just try your best and it comes out how it comes out. And artists
Exactly.
are vulnerable. And so, us knowing that we're artists and we know that we're vulnerable, I mean, some stuff we just have to let ride because we'll be in our own head a lot.
Yeah. Well, I always tell Seven when he brings this when he's talking about this with me, I always bring up the Miles Davis quote, which is I it's paraphrasing it right now because I can't remember it exactly, but it's something like I played for years to finally figure out how to play myself. Because you have to have influences. You have to learn that jazz. You have to learn that rhythm. You have to learn those different styles
Mm,
to make your own style, make your own recipe of who you are. You know.
Yeah, freaking
you're right,
proverb.
man.
What do they say? A fool knows everything. A wise man knows he knows nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
Mm, I like that. I like that. That's true. One a question I have for you, Kaveli, is what is your like? What are the steps that you take? Like, run me through an average day of creation for you. So,
Mhm.
you listen to some kind of music when you're doing whatever, and you're like, you know what? This is some trap. This is some East Coast. This is some West Coast. This is some 50 stuff. This is some Trailville stuff. This is some whatever. And then you think to yourself, all right, I want to do something like that, or do you just like, where do your beats come from? How do you pick your beats? Just run me through a
Mhm.
day of like in the booth, in the studio, in Kaveli's mind when you're creating something.
Sure, sure. So it all. I mean, first, and there's what do they call it? There's exceptions to every rule, But as far as the production goes, and so what I'd like to do is I like to reach out with producers, just make sure we have a decent agreement as far as the beat goes, and then I
Mm,
just kind of like for our the production or the producers to send me just like a batch of beats. And what I like to do is I like to go through them and just make sure that I can connect with one. So, I take my time and I go through them and I try to catch what they call a vibe per se.
yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, but at the
Yeah,
end of the
you can
day,
tell when you hear a beat, you're like, oh fuck yeah,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is gonna be
that's
the
the
one.
one, right? That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so when you do that, and you catch that vibe, the next thing you want to do is you want to figure out is the beat, is it compelling me to create to it right now to where I do not want to think of subject matter for the beat. So if the beat is so compelling that it's just calling me, I'll kind of just let it flow.
Mm,
But if other than that, but if it's a beat and I just kind of I hear something to it, then I'll kind of work out a concept or a subject around it, and I'll kind of build from there, and that's
mm.
kind of how I get into that.
Yeah. Have you ever received beats from your producers that you hear a little snippet from it and you're like, I love that, but can you put that with something else? Have you ever asked them to mix things for you personally?
Okay, and so here's the thing with me, like I know that I'm an artist and I'm a really and I like to create. I enjoy creating, and so I respect the producer's beat and what they want to do with the beat. It's kind of like Andy Warhol and Basquiat painting a picture together, right?
Mhm.
So Andy's not gonna be like, "Yo, Basquiat,
You changed this,
nah."
yeah.
He's gonna add to it. Basquiat's gonna be like, "Hey, Andy, I don't like that Amico sign." No, he's gonna help it look better. And so that's what I like to do. I don't damage, or I don't like to alter the beat. I like to add on to it with my artistry.
Mm,
All right, all right.
okay. So you like the salt and pepper just kind of on top of the dinner that's already delicious. Yeah,
Yeah, man, because
I'm with you.
everybody's got to do what they got to do in hip hop, right? So the
Mm,
producer's got to do his thing. He has to be happy with it. I've got to do my thing. I've got to be happy with it. I go record it. The engineer's got to do his thing.
mm,
He's got to
mm,
be happy with it. We go freaking do the art. The the artist got to do his thing. He's got to be happy with it. So hip hop and music making period is a collaborative effort. And
yeah,
so even if people do want to come to you, there's really no room for selfishness. You see what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I'm with you. And what made you decide to get into Web3, into crypto music? When did that happen, and what kind of drew you in to say, hey, like the Web2 stuff is cool, like traditional music releases is cool,
Yeah.
because you're on Spotify, right? So you're doing the traditional route as well,
Mhm.
and obviously you're on YouTube as well. But yeah, so what made you decide to get into Web3?
So listen, I everything is changing, and life is forever changing. And so you either roll or you're gonna get rolled over, right? And so cryptocurrency took the world by storm. You talk to a lot of people, they say, "Hey, I was in it 30 years ago," and stuff
Yeah,
like that. But at the end of the day, cryptocurrency took the world by storm, and I got swept up in it 4 or 5 years ago myself, and I met some wonderful people in this Web3 community, starting with Cornucopias. I mean, free shameless plug, is
yeah,
where I met one of my favorite producers, Dakar. It's also where I met Seven.
mm,
And so actually Dakar told me about the listening room, and so it's a Twitter spaces that I've told you about that they do every Wednesday. And so
yes.
this is kind of how I was turned on to the music scene in Web3. And then all of a sudden I started just seeing things like what Solana was doing, what Polygon was doing, and I started making myself a part of the algorithm.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I've been in that Twitter space a couple of times. I usually just sit in the background.
Word,
Yeah,
word. So you've
So
heard me this time.
yeah, man. I've been in there. I've been in there. Yeah, most
No
definitely,
doubt.
most definitely. So when you first started out, I'm gonna bring you back again. Did you
Mhm.
did you think that you wanted to get into being a musician at all, or did you just want to concentrate on the verbs, on the words? Did you want to maybe pick up instruments or learn how to use like a polyand tracker or a MIDI controller or anything like that? Did you ever want to get into that, or did that just seem
Yeah,
too
incredible question. That's a great question, my man. So listen, um, along with me, always loving music and stuff. That I've been blessed to be in some great schools coming up, and so in the third grade, I mean, a lot of kids actually have to do it here in the U.S. or there's actually a program for it. So in the third grade, I actually played the violin, and we also played this thing that's this instrument that's really similar to a flute. It's called the recorder,
yeah,
and so I was taught that in third grade also.
yeah,
And so in
everybody had one
sixth,
of those. You have to bring a recorder for your music class. right? That was it.
Exactly. So so in sixth grade, there was more instrumentation, and so I also had to do. I chose to play the alto saxophone, and so I have experience with musicianship. I also sung in the choir at school, also, and so I mean, and I started off making beats also. It's just that I just fall in love with the poetry in motion, which
Mhm.
I call the lyricism in hip hop. I really fell in love with it. I love doing it. I actually took a week off to this week for the first time in weeks. Like there's been, I write relentlessly every day. I'm always trying to hone my craft, but I took a week. I took a week off this week to get my head right and spend some time with my girl so she could stop nagging me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that
yeah.
feeling.
Well, what
My
I
question, I want to ask you something about your lyrics and how do you how do you how do you come up with them? How do you write them down? Because I'm guessing that you listen to the beat, and then you go, this it'll flow with this, it'll flow with that. But for me, I'll tell you what I do is I will I will think of a excuse me. I'll think of a punchline like something that is impactful, something that I want to be impactful, and that'll usually be my second bar or my fourth bar, or you know what I'm saying. So I'll think of something that's impactful, and then I will kind of write around that to make it kind of to mold it so they all work, so the lyrics work together with that punchline. If you know what I mean. What
Hmm.
what what is your what's your how do you write your lyrics? You just listen to the beat? Do you have a certain style of doing it, or?
Hmm. Okay, and so when I hear a beat, the first thing I want to figure out is the flow. So it's all got a flow, right? So I got to figure out my flow and how I'm going to do it. But I'll also change that up as I write. And so
Mm,
you want it all goes back to and it all goes back to schooling, like when you got to think. So there's the intro, there's the body, and then there's the outro. There's also the plot, the climax, things of this nature. And so you keep this in mind as you're writing around a certain subject. And so that's your foundation. And so you're just kind of building that foundation as you create the piece. And so that's kind of how I look at it, as I get towards writing. And so hip hop is broke down for the most part into 16 bar verses, maybe 4 to 8 bar hooks or choruses, right?
mm,
And
mm.
so as I'm writing my verse, if I'm getting closer to the 16 bars, then I know I need to be trying to curve it for some type of outro. And of course, you want to have some type of crescendo or some type of shock value trickled
Mhm.
through it. But at the same time, though, you're also relaying a message. And so it's
Yeah,
really a project that you piece together. I mean, some things could take 10 minutes, some things could take 5 weeks or 5 months. You know what I mean? It's tough.
yeah, yeah. It literally takes me about a week. I'd say maybe like 3 or 4 days to come up with the lyrics and then record it, and because I'm fortunate enough that I'm in my little booth here. This is where I work, and I just have a tiny booth with all these are. It's not, believe it or not, it's not a mattress, even though it looks like it. It's just this kind of soundproof blankets. So I got like this makeshift like pole situation. Anyway, um, and yeah, so I was just sitting here, and the way I do it is a little bit different. I'll get the beat up in what do you use, by the way, to record? Because you go to an actual studio, right? And you have to
Yes.
pay every time to get into the studio as well. That's
Yeah, yeah. So that's
yeah.
that's another thing. But so here's the thing with the studio, right? So for 20 years, pretty much, or I'd say for about 10 years, I had my own studio, right? And so I was able to hone my craft, with my friends and kind of know what to do inside and outside of the studio. So now that I
Mm,
don't have my own studio anymore, even though I do go to other studios and pay for studio time. I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. And also, I was really lucky to meet a really great engineer here in St. Louis, Missouri. His name is Mikey Buzzkill. And so, if you guys want to Instagram him, or if anybody sees this and you're in the St. Louis, Missouri area, definitely reach out to Mikey. And yeah, he'll make you sound good. He's the type of
Yeah,
engineer that listens to you.
yeah. I
Well,
was gonna.
so if you have
That's what
his
I would say
links,
is yeah, yeah. We'll get his links up on there. But I would. That's one of the things I wanted to mention. Like your, the quality of the vocals and everything is just outstanding. It's outrageous, man. And I envy it because I mean, I'm not talking about just the the sound quality. Of course, I'm talking about the lyrics and everything together. But in terms of the engineering and everything, because I like I'm just me here in my booth and I try to get the ear for it, but I don't have that ear. These guys are really good with. I mean, you two are actually the only two people that I send my music to. You and Stein, I send my music to before I release it. So you guys are the ones that listen to it. And Stein is always going to me, you need to tweet this, you need to tweet that because of the audio, but I can never get it as good as how you guys get it. It's definitely worth, I would say, having that engineer there. But have you ever thought about getting back to, or you just really enjoy the whole studio, going to the studio process, or have you thought about getting a studio back in your home again or your own sort of booth?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I would love to. And you know what? I probably have the resources to make it happen, but I am
Mm,
just not really a tech savvy guy. And
tell
so,
me about it. Oh,
I would need somebody to like literally hold my hand and help me. And not only that, but again, hip hop and making music is really a collaborative effort. And so,
mm,
sometimes you need other people outside of you to kind of get your message across. Like a CEO of the company, I'm sure he could do every job in the level of the company, but he
mm,
focuses on what he's the best at, and he also hires people who are the best at what they do to bring the
mm.
best of a whole product out. And so I try to think like a CEO, right?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the truth,
sometimes
man.
you
You
get the
speak the truth.
equipment and you're like, I just spent all this fucking money on this shit, and you already know how to use it, and you already have it. Why am I buying this shit? You can do it
What am I
for me,
doing?
right?
What am I doing?
Why
Yeah,
am I wasting
yeah.
5K or 10K on this stuff when you already have this shit and you only charging me a couple
Yeah,
hundo?
Not only that, but hey, man, it's gonna take me 5 hours. Something it takes you 30 minutes to do.
Right.
I mean, come on, it's just not enough
yeah.
time in a day, right?
Well, they have a lot of big YouTubers and stuff like that. They don't edit their videos. They did when they first started, but when they get bigger, it's like, shit, I'll just pay somebody better to do my stuff for me. Then I have more free time to do what I want to do.
You
And
said the key thing, Stein. It's all about time.
yeah,
Well,
that's the
based
only thing you
on
can
that,
never get back in life. The only thing you
yeah.
can
Well,
never get
hey,
back in
but
life.
like you mentioned, Kaveli, you mentioned that we're getting older, right? We're getting older. I am at the moment I'm in my mid 30s, and my question to you is there a too old to rap? Is there a too old to rap? Because look, I know Snoop is out there still rapping. Now that dude in his 50s or something like that, or I don't even know how old he is now. He's rapping. Who else did I see the other day that's still making music and they're in their 50s now? And I was like, dang. But do
Well,
you think there's a too old to
Eminem's pretty
rap?
old now too, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, but he must be in his 40s, late 40s, maybe,
I
something
don't
like
know.
that. But yeah,
I
but
don't. You
yeah,
can't get too old. You can get out of style. That's the problem. You're talking about your shit, not the shit you were talking. Not for teenagers. You're not talking about their
I guess
stuff
so.
anymore.
I guess
So
so.
you'll always find. I
There
think you'll
you
always
go.
find your audience.
Who's got an
I
audience?
answered the question for
Yeah, thank you.
right.
Yeah.
You're not too
No, I
old to
mean,
paint. You're not too old to paint. You're
say
not
it,
too old to
Stein.
sing. You're not too old to do anything. You're just your audience changes. That's all.
That's my
Wow.
man.
I never even thought about it like that before. You explained it very well.
You
Thank
know.
you,
So
Stein.
what it
Thank you
is,
for
I
telling me this
mean,
before
hey,
privately.
Because you don't like
listen,
Snoop Dogg. I love Snoop Dogg because
Yeah,
there
Snoop
it
Dogg
is.
is my he's a little bit after mine, but he
About
was
your
there.
generation, I grew up on Snoop too. Come on
Well,
now,
I
but
know,
yeah,
but
no, what you said makes a lot of sense, and yeah, I'm actually
but
gonna.
you weren't getting
'Cause I've been
high
thinking
when
about it
Snoop
like
was
that. I've
getting
been
high.
thinking
That's the problem.
I definitely wasn't getting high when Snoop was getting high. I was, yeah,
You were too young for
I was
that
growing
shit.
up anyway. Yeah, sorry,
Excuse
you
me,
were
I'm
saying
sorry.
Kaveli. That's all right.
No, I mean the older we get, the wiser we get, and so we are seeing incredible things happen right before our very eyes. Right, we're seeing Tom Brady in American football. I mean, just freaking defy all kind of odds.
Right?
NBA, we're seeing LeBron James really just get out there and get after it. And so hip hop, we're seeing Jay-Z, look, just agent finder with wine, R&B,
Mm.
Beyonce, agent finder with wine. Hey man, Ozzy Osbourne, all those guys never look better.
I
You
don't,
know what I'm
Right.
yeah,
saying?
Look at
So
Steven
I don't know about
Tyler,
Ozzy
right?
too
this is
much.
what we do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Look at
man, look,
Steven Tyler.
definitely
He
AJ.
was still doing that shit until a couple of years ago. In Christ,
Still banging.
Yeah,
Still out there
yeah.
stomping
Yeah,
right in the
man,
middle of the
Well,
stage.
I sent Seven a text earlier. I don't even think he read it, but I got this off a very intelligent artist. He goes, "You're good, but you could be better. You don't have to do so much because you carry your history with you as you get older. So you always have that knowledge, that library of shit in your head you can draw on. So
You are deep.
you
Stein is deep.
don't have to do so
I got
much. You
that
don't have
deep.
to learn so much because you already got that shit in your head. So
I
it
like
becomes
that,
easier.
Stein.
You know what I'm saying?
Somebody better give Stein his props around this mother for you.
Yeah,
This
I don't know about
this guy
that.
don't give me shit. This
I don't
guy's
give you
like,
nothing.
I
You
don't know
don't
what you're
deserve
talking
shit.
about, old man. I don't know what you're talking
Sending me
about.
goddamn pictures.
Shame on you, Seven.
Yeah, man.
Well, I try to give him encouragement, but I also try
Yeah,
to be
yeah, you're
honest
good,
with
dude,
him
Stein. You're all
too.
right. You're all
You
right.
know.
So what's the long term vision for Kaveli? What do you are you coming out with any? Are you planning on coming out with albums? And I'm guessing if you do, you've been dropping tracks on Web3, so you've been getting into. Forgive me if I got this incorrect, but you've been connected with Noom. You've been doing some stuff with Noom.
So I believe we just did a drop. Now my homeboy Juice, he's also one of the co-founders of the listening room. He kind of anchored the Noom drop. They have a new record store that they combined with Six City and one more project, and they're gonna, hopefully they don't kill me for forgetting who they
Yeah, I feel like I
collaborated
should know
with.
who it is. I feel like I
Yeah,
should
but
know.
it's
I remember it.
okay.
I remember that drop. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, but they got together and so they we kind of did a drop on that, but yeah, I'm just really working, trying to build my foundational core base, and so if you guys are really into hip hop, anybody watching this and you want a really sincere, wonderful, conscious person who's not trying to lead you down the path of destruction, but is trying to
Mm.
give you some good game and direction. I mean, definitely, tune in and follow me. I'd love to, to take for my fans to elevate me to the top. Period, point blank.
Yeah, we'll put
Absolutely,
all your
man.
links in. We'll put all your links in the description as well, because yeah, we do that with every guest. And yeah, man, because I think you should have. I think you should definitely have more subscribers than you have right now. Have you not been putting stuff on YouTube? You should definitely have more, man. That's for
It's
sure.
hard to get subscribers.
It's so
It,
hard to get subscribers
you know,
nowadays, man. It
it
really is.
is.
And we were talking to Scruffy the other day, and I think I don't know what's your thoughts on this. Is I think that it's it is somewhat harder to be found for things like music nowadays, because I don't even know the number of YouTube videos that are dropped every single day on YouTube, or uploaded rather. And so you have
Mhm.
to compete with so much to get seen. I was saying this in the previous podcast as well. I was saying that I I found a group, a rap group, and they were really good. And I was like, damn, these guys they're on point. And I can't remember how I found them, but then I went on
Okay.
to their I went hunting for them. I checked out their YouTube, and they hadn't posted anything in like a year or two, and 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 they had like 180 subscribers. I was like, what the hell's going on here? This makes no sense. So Pete, like, you can be so talented, you can be so good with your stuff, but you can still struggle to get those. And unfortunately, that stuff matters. It does matter. Subscribers matters. All that stuff, it does matter, especially if you want to get blown up, like just how you describe, right?
Yeah.
But what's so are you, how long you been on YouTube for? Do you plan on doing any kind of music videos? Because I know you've started doing those lyric videos, which I love. I love
Yeah.
those. They're a lot of fun. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
All
Love,
right, man.
man.
Good entertainment.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. So listen, man, here's the thing. So I started off basically releasing my music on SoundCloud because I had a little hiatus after I me and my fellas kind of had a split, you know what I mean? So I kind of had to figure out what I was going to do. And so I kind of took a couple of years. And so now you see me really getting back into the swing of things. And so, I had a lot of drops on SoundCloud to and it was the reason I really started the SoundCloud was to get the music to the Web3 audience. But I mean, a lot of other people kind of just started listening to it. And so I kind of, building that core base a little bit. And so now I want to bring everybody over to the YouTube. And so hence the lyric videos that I've been doing. And basically I just want to just build from the ground up with this new positive outlook that I have on life, because I'm really loving life right now, really loving other people, really loving the collaborative effort. And so I mean, this is fresh and brand new. And one thing I want to say is I have to thank platforms like yourself, Se7en, you and Stein, for reaching out and working with me and helping to get the name out, because it's so big, and it means a lot. So from the bottom of my heart in St. Louis, Missouri, thank you both.
It's all good, baby.
Well,
It's
thank you
all
for
good,
coming
man.
on. Now, Se7en was talking about you doing music videos. I know that's a whole damn other ball of wax there,
It's
man.
definitely a collaborative effort.
It's like, okay,
You
I
need
can
a
say
lot of
go into
people
a
there.
studio, but now I got to pay even more money to have people video my ass, so you know what I'm saying? Because it's expensive. If you don't have the equipment, it can be very expensive.
It's expensive. Yeah,
Have
but
you thought about
what?
doing it?
Oh, I will be. And so
Yeah.
I'm working with a project on Cardano actually, called Stripper Coin. And so
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah. I know them.
and if I'm not mistaken, we should have like a video in the works. And so you'll definitely get to see, Kaveli in front of the camera. And yes, that's why I'm trying to get you guys more visual content. So that's coming. More visual content videos, more lyric videos, backstage access, everything like that. Also trying to get into NFT utility drops. I'm also working with a project called Rap Mints in Cardano. And so I have a clan called the Dragons. And so one of my homeboys is Bad Fox. And so we're working on music as we speak. Got another producer called Too Illy. And then I got another producer, For the C Beats. I hope he doesn't kill me, but he's actually from Australia.
Okay.
Two Illies from Jersey, and I think Fox is from the DMV area. I think like Baltimore. And so big things coming. I'm constantly cooking for you all.
So you're working. I'm going to ask him one question. Yeah, you're working with Stripper Coin. So
I knew you was going to talk about that. I knew you were going to say something about that.
I'm just thinking because he said
He's
Stripper
like, hey,
Coin.
can I get backstage access to that, please?
He dropped out. He dropped out. Oh, we'll pull him back in here in a second. Maybe he hit the button, man. Text him back over there, Se7en.
Cool. Just cut it here, and then we'll get him back in.
Yeah, no, he's coming back in right now. There we go.
There we go. Cool. Yeah. So, you
okay,
can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
Right
So my question was, we'll just cut that little piece out. My question was, so you're working with Stripper Coin. Are you gonna do, because it brings up like Big Crit. I don't know if you ever heard of Big Crit, but money on the floor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You talking money on the floor? You gonna start doing stripper music? Is that you gonna do a couple stripper beats for the strip clubs? You know, some nasty shit
Go
you
beast
get on the
mode.
radio.
Go beast mode. Go beast mode. Beast mode. Beast mode. Hey, there you go.
Hey, no matter what kind of music your boy Kaveli the Punisher White does, I can promise you this: it will be quality music.
Okay.
You know, it's not gonna be
Well, listen.
just some smut. Put your
I
coochie in
don't-
place.
I don't know because it's when I used to live down in Florida, strip clubs were a very positive thing in my life, and the music in there, the music in there was like, how come I don't hear this shit anywhere else? I can't find this music.
Like elevator music.
You know, and I'd be
You'll never
talking
hear
with
it in the
DJ.
elevator.
You'd be like, oh, yeah, here's this song, Big Crit. You got to get there, Big Crit. Yeah, money on the floor is fucking, yeah. So,
So
Shout out to Big Crit.
I wanted to ask you, brother, with performing, when was the first time you got on stage in front of people and rap? Because I've never done it before. I've been in acting and like, you know, growing up in school and you know, you do
Right.
drama and all that. But like, when was the first time you performed, and how do you prepare yourself to get on stage in front of people and rap to people who might not necessarily know your lyrics or anything, you know, anything about you?
Oh yeah.
How do you prepare for that?
Yeah, another great question. And so everything in life just kind of coincides, right? And so it's kind of like anything else that's big in your life that you've never done before. You know, you've never got on a roller coaster before. You know, you just get on it. You know, and you just experience how it goes, and the more times that you experience it, you learn better ways to conduct yourself, or better ways to make yourself stand out once you start to understand it. You know what I mean? And you know, and after that, it kind of becomes a part of you, and it becomes like your thing, you know. So what the things that you haven't done, as long as they're safe, do them more, and you'll get better at them. And this is easier said than done, everybody. Don't you just think that you'll just be able to jump out there and start doing it. But yeah, you just gotta kick yourself in the behind.
yeah, you got to start somewhere, right?
You got to have
There
some
you go.
confidence. You do have to have some confidence. You gotta have a belief in you. And that sounds like something that you have. It's really nice to hear that you have that you don't have any of that. Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like you have
No, I
much,
know
as
it.
much
That's not,
self-doubt as I
no,
have.
no, listen. No, here it is, Seven. I get nervous just like the next man. I mean, I
Yeah.
had butterflies before I got on this interview. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But hey,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, I'm gonna get up here and I'm gonna try to do my best. I'm gonna, you know, try to give you guys great answers and try to give you good insight to where I'm going in. And the more of these I do, the better I'll get at it. You know, and so that's kind of how it works.
So in other words, you're like, okay, if it's the first time that I'm doing something, I'm probably gonna flop. It's probably gonna be a mess, but it's okay because I'll learn from it and get better the
Speak
next
for
time.
yourself, man.
No,
Yeah.
you're not probably gonna flop. You're not probably gonna do anything. You're gonna do your best. You're gonna do the best that you can. You're gonna prepare for it because you know it's coming, and so you're gonna make yourself as ready as you can be. That way, you won't beat yourself up if it is a flop or if it
Yeah.
is a success, because you
Yeah.
know you've done everything that you possibly can to make it the best it could be.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
quality
we
stuff, man.
we really thank you for coming on. We're going to put
Brother,
all the
it's been
links
so
in.
much fun.
So fun.
Seven's going to get the links from you, and we're going to put them down in the descriptions for any of your producers or any of the
Yeah.
musicians that
Please,
you
that'd
want to
be great.
promote. And
Man, cool, man. It'll be so tight. I mean, yeah, come over to the YouTube, you all, and if you like this interview and check me out, I think you'll like some quality music.
Excellent.
100.
Well, we don't want you to hang up. We're going to just do our little outro, and then we're going to get back to you so we can have a little after recording talk. Is that okay?
I mean, everything's okay. I mean, so what are
Okay.
are we doing some bars before you want? Can we give the
Uh,
people some bars?
If you,
No,
brother, if you'd like to do
you
some
can,
bars,
if
please
you
go
want
for
to.
it. I'd love to hear some.
Or
Go
we
for
can-
it. If that's something you
Yeah,
want to
let's
do.
give them some. Let's give you people some bars so they can know what they're
I
coming
don't have
over
any.
to.
I don't
Yeah,
have any
that's a
music,
great
so
idea.
you're gonna have to do it on.
You
You're gonna
don't
have to
need
do
any
it a
music.
cappella.
We'll go acapella.
I'm not involved in this one.
Check this out, Stein. Check this out, Seven. So I told him, I'm just different and presently gifted and heavenly invested in metal like the Olympics, right? Though the market is rather volatile, Shorty won't get no dividends for that Prada blouse, right? And my father so proud of his child, I ain't missed a payment in years, simply not in my style, right? Though I ain't never hit a bingo, strip clubs. I bought 100 wings with singles. We mingled in places you'll never see for C notes. We so too legit, move consistent in each coast. Securing my parameters. You breach posts? Emoji on the red button as I eat toast. With avocado and chicken and fine bottles of liquid that bubble up and some papaya to mix it. And corks popping like we firing biscuits. KB iron and business with iron and mittens. See, I was schooled properly, inspired by minutes. We ride the premise and trust me, they'll try their limits. So I did the math and bought appliance of physics. Cause every man should be fed with the science of living. That bread. Still on the grind to get it. Wish these haters would cough it up. Heimlich, is it? You kind of ambitious? Negro, you trying to envision higher intentions? You think you some kind of magician? You another Pan-African disguised as musician and highly efficient, and likely it's your kind you be fishing. You gon' teach them about ancient history and timeless inventions and hope they find themselves before we find them a prison or they die in the system. A supremacy as the remedy, just like Martin Malcolm, Mega Kennedy, I'm sorry, just like Martin Malcolm, Mega, Lenin, and Kennedy, right? Storm the Capitol on some random shit. They'll never get the same time that the Panthers did. And the why is where the answer is. I came up with that vibing off of cannabis. Heard it help with cancer now. Remember it was cancerous. Pardon me, I blacked out just like Atlanta did.
Nice.
God damn, man. Dude,
That's good.
That's actually some of the
That's
best things
deep.
I heard
Little
from you.
hiccup.
Wow, that's
Nah,
all right,
dude,
man.
I don't care about
Oh,
that.
take two.
I don't
Take
care about
two.
that.
No.
It's the lyrics,
that
man.
was
That
good.
was fire, bro. Wow.
Yeah, man. That was
That's
that
incredible
was deep.
wordplay. That's incredible wordplay. I really like how you did everything there.
I like the I like
Get the lyric video out.
well, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. That sounds like some of the best lyrics.
I did like the chicken wings, buying it for $1 because that
I
happens.
thought you was gonna like that. I thought you were gonna like that.
I thought you
And
were
Atlanta
gonna like
blacking out?
the
Yeah,
stripper
that-
part. The strip part.
Well,
yeah.
no, I caught all of it, man. I caught all of it. It was really good. It was
That
really
was
good.
cool, man.
I
Nice.
like to be able to hear the shit and then have it bring up a memory in my own head, like you know.
I like
even-
it. I like when it makes me think. It makes me think, oh, this and this and this, and you know how
Right.
it blends together. Yeah, that's
And
great, man. Well done. Nice.
and
As different as we are, we're all the same, right?
right. And I think the memories
Source
or
energy.
thoughts that it if you listen to rap and me being a white guy from the Northeast
That's right.
and you being a black guy from the Midwest and seven
That's right.
being an Asian
Being
from
whatever it is Asian. You say I'm Asian.
Asian.
You just don't know.
No, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it brings us all
it brings up different thoughts into each person's head, which is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So
That's right.
yeah, it's not a lyric where you everybody's thinking the same thing. It's a lyric where everybody's grabbing something different from each part of it, which is good, which is really good.
Man.
But on that
Thank
note,
you for that.
Stein.
Blessed. I feel blessed for
Yeah,
having you do that, brother. Thank you, man. That was great. That's
So
gonna be
what-
worth something in the future. You know, we're gonna have to cut this piece out.
yeah, you're gonna have to pay us.
Pop it on Spotify.
pay
or
us
something.
for,
yeah, because it's our stuff now.
It's
you
ours,
don't put
it's
it on
ours
here.
now. Shit, you
It's
just
ours. Goddamn
you
material.
just sold the
I
song to
totally
us.
didn't finish the last
2
piece.
week
There's
links.
like 8 to 12 more bars left. So you know.
Two week
man.
Links Productions just puts out a new jam.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
It goes to number
do
1 on the
whatever you
charts,
want.
man. No,
Oh,
I'm just
I would
kidding.
love that.
Awesome.
Oh, that's
Okay.
okay. Put it out.
Well, we're going to have you sit in the green room, and we're going to get right back to you after the show. And just be patient with us, and we want to talk a little bit with you. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Thanks, brother.
Hey.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Yeah, man, that really blew me away. That those lyrics at the end. I think personally, I think that's the best lyrics I've heard from him to date. I really was
Well,
impressed with that.
You get better with each song, man.
I know you do.
You get better with each rap.
It's been
You know, that's the
keeps
process.
improving. And what I like about him, which I didn't even get a chance to get into, is he's quite similar to myself in terms of he's trying out different types of like backing tracks, different types of beats and stuff. And he came out with a track called Beast Mode the other day, which was more of a like at least if that's the one I'm thinking of. It's like a kind of a dancey track, and it's good. You know what I'm saying? He's trying different things out, and it's working for him. And yeah, it was good to have him on today. And,
it was very good. It was very good.
Yeah, man.
And it's always nice to have somebody that really knows the history of whatever they're talking about. So
Because we don't know shit.
I know shit about hip hop.
Oh,
you
know
not
shit.
think
Right.
I do.
No, I thought
you might not think I do. I'll
links.
screw your ass in
I
hip
thought
hop.
we was a 2-week link, so we don't know
Jesus.
nothing, and we just need somebody else to come and tell us.
Well, we
but you
don't know
about hip-hop.
anything. Okay, all right. I don't know anything, but this
Damn
one we
right
do
you
know
don't.
about because we both love hip hop.
Mm-hmm. It was
So,
a blessing today,
I
and I
may
love
not
his
know about
dude. I love his
crypto.
positivity as well. I
Yeah.
love his energy. He's such a great energy, and I'm kind of drawn to that energy of his, and
Well, you gotta be.
I would like to see him be in front of the camera more, because even if he's just talking to people.
I'd like to have him back on the show.
He's got a
again.
nice vibe. Yeah, absolutely. He's got a great
maybe
vibe to him. and
maybe
great
next
energy,
summer or
and
next fall we'll have him
jealous.
back on the show. I think
gotta
that'd be
spend
good.
more. See, I got to spend more time around people like that.
Maybe we'll have him. Maybe we'll have him
him
do a Dougie Fresh Christmas rap for us around Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Ho ho
Yeah.
ho, Merry Christmas, my foot. I'll tell you what Santa really put under my so-called tree, but in reality, with nothing but a big old See, I'm gonna go.
Wait, is this MC Stein in the house
No,
right
that
here?
was Dougie Fresh, man. That was Dougie
Okay.
Fresh. That's the Christmas
I know,
rap.
but you're doing your version of it. All right.
No, man, I know them all, but you know, so
Well-
I have to stop myself because some of the words I cannot say because I am not of that color.
Yeah.
I am pale.
You and
So,
I are pale people.
I am
Definitely
too
pale
pale
people.
to be using words that I shouldn't be using. You know, that's not my music; it's their music. So,
But yeah. No, it was a
you know
good
what
show
I'm
today.
saying?
Good show today.
You know what I'm
and,
saying? It's not my lyrics. I can't use them all.
It was fun. It was fun.
It was fun.
All right.
We're gonna play the
That's the end
outro
of the
because I
show,
want to
people.
I want to talk to him before we
Yeah,
let him go.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right,
do
so don't
Thank you very much for
don't
joining
say
in.
anything during the outro because you're always talking during the outro.
Mm-hmm. I'll be quiet.
Don't say anything, man.
Look at you. You can't even do things right. What's wrong with you? Look at you.
Oh, what the fuck I'm doing?